The Town of Los Gatos Planning Commission meeting of Wednesday, August 8th, 2018 is now called to order. Mr. Paulson, will you call the roll?
Thank you. Commissioner Bonami?
Here.
Commissioner O'Donnell?
Here.
Commissioner Janoff?
Here.
Commissioner Hanson?
Here.
And Chair Kane.
Here. I would ask that everyone stand and join Commissioner Badami in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Please join me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The Town of Los Gatos strongly encourages active participation in the public process, which is a cornerstone of democracy and essential to the Planning Commission conducting its business on behalf of the Town Council and the citizens of the town. There are several ways for members of the public to participate in the deliberations of the Planning Commission. Prior to a Commission meeting, written comments concerning agenda items may be submitted to staff. They are always welcome and always helpful. At meetings of the Commission, there are two opportunities for members of the public to participate. During verbal communications period, an individual may speak on any topic not on the agenda, and any member of the public may speak during the public hearing of an item that is on the agenda. If you wish to address the Commission, please complete a speaker card located on the backs of the benches where you're seated. For anyone who intends to speak, I ask that you come up to the podium, adjust the microphone so that you are speaking directly into it. Please state your name and address for the record. In fairness to all who want to speak at this meeting, it is requested that you limit your comments to 3 minutes. We go to subcommittee reports. In addition to their service on the Planning Commission, members of the Commission serve on several town committees. Do we have any subcommittee reports tonight? Not a one. Then we move forward to verbal communications. Members of the public are invited to address the Commission on any issue not on tonight's agenda. And do we have any cards?
We do not.
Then we move to consent. Items on consent may be acted upon by a single motion, but before the Planning Commission acts on the consent calendar, any member of the public or the Commission may request that an item be removed. Tonight we have one item on consent, and that is approval of the minutes of the July 25, 2018 Planning Commission meeting. Do we have a request to pull the item, or is there a motion to approve? Commissioner O'Donnell.
I'll move to approve the minutes.
Do we have a second? Commissioner Badami.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor, aye. It passes unanimously, 5-0. We move now to the public hearings portion of our meeting and consider agenda item 2, which is 155 North Santa Cruz Avenue, Suite G, conditional use permit application U18-011, requesting approval for group classes, the Bay Area Acting Studio. On property zone, all of you have to emote and get into it tonight because
I noticed.
on property zoned C2, it is APN 510-17-096. The property owner is Mike Rugani. The applicant is Christy English, and the project planner is Ryan Safdie. May I see a show of hands from the commissioners who have visited the subject property? Are there any disclosures on this item?
Yes, from me. So I will be recusing myself tonight because the project location is within 500 feet of my business location.
All right. And we shall wait for the door to close. Thank you for coming down.
Okay, bye.
Mr. Safdie, will you give us the staff report, please?
Certainly. Good evening, Commissioners. Before you tonight is a proposal from the applicant, Bay Area Acting Studio, requesting approval of a conditional use permit to allow group classes. The business would operate out of a 1,938 square foot suite located within a multi-tenant commercial building at 155 North Santa Cruz Avenue, Zone C2. Per town code, group classes in the C2 zone require approval of a conditional use permit by the Planning Commission. Based on the discussion provided in the staff report, staff recommends approval of the application, subject to the conditions of approval. And this concludes staff's presentation, and we are happy to answer any questions.
Are there any questions for staff? I have one. Mr. Safdie, exactly why does this operation need a CUP?
Since it's considered a group class, and group classes need a conditional use permit in the C2 zone.
All right, thank you. Any other questions? Seeing none, I'm going to open the public portion of the public hearing and give the applicant an opportunity to address the commission for up to 10 minutes, and I need a speaker card.
Good evening. Good evening, Commissioners. First, thank you very much for spending your Wednesday evening with us for 10 minutes. And I also want to thank specifically Ryan for his hard work and multiple correspondence we've had, and Monica Wren also for her encouragement over the last few months.
Forgive me, sir. Would you give us your name and address?
Yeah, my name is Jonathan Pickering. I'm a resident at 18191 Saratoga Los Gatos Road, Monte Sereno. It's kind of 95030.
Thank you.
So what we want to go through in the next 10 minutes, just a quick introduction to Christy, what we do at the Bay Area Acting Studio, what kind of classes we run, who we're catering to, some of the success stories that we've had to date, and importantly, why we want to move and start our second business operation in Los Gatos, talk a little bit about our community involvement, and then if we have time permitting, we've got a 3-minute short video of some of our students, our children and their parents, which will give you, I think, a really nice flavor of what we do and why it's such a valuable operation. So first, I'd like to introduce Christy. Christy is both my business partner and life partner. We have children at Dave's school, and my daughter's shortly going into into the high school here. And let me just say a few words about Christy to save her the embarrassment of going through it herself. So Christy is the founder and owner of the Bay Area Acting Studio. She's spent 25 years in the entertainment industry. And her main claim to fame is that she studied directly under Sanford Meisner, who's a very famous guru in the acting world. He passed away, unfortunately, in the late 1990s. But his direct students included the famous names you see here, Gregory Peck, Jack Nicholson, Diane Keaton, James Franco, and so on. And Christy had the opportunity to study directly under him as part of this very well-known alumni. Christy founded the Bay Area Acting Studio business in 2003, and the current location, which is on Camden Avenue, was started up about 11 years ago, and it's actually at capacity. So all the children and teens and adult classes are currently full, and for the last 6 months we've been looking to see how we can expand the business, and this is why we're here tonight, because we're very excited by the opportunity of opening in Los Gatos. So without further ado, I'll pass on to Christy.
Thank you, Jonathan. Hi, I'm Christy English. Do you need my address? It's the same as, okay. So what we do at Bay Area Acting Studio, I want to just, again, thank you guys for coming and listening to us on a Wednesday evening. We appreciate it. Can I take this out?
Yes.
Okay, great. Thank you. We focus primarily on teaching acting for film and television. So we have a lot of children and adults that come from a big theater background. We also do a lot of theater scenes, but we are a little bit different because we really get them prepared if they want to audition for commercials in the Bay Area, or if they decide they would like to do television and film. So it's a little bit of a different genre. We do the acting, the craft technique, like Jonathan was mentioning. It's actually called the Meisner technique. There are two very well-known techniques in the acting world. I won't go into the history of it all, but Meisner's one of them. And we teach them how to audition and how to just to be in a room with casting directors, how to address them, if they were on set, kind of things they could do and couldn't do. And on-camera technique. We teach kids, teens, and adults. We start at age 5. Our regular classes start at 8, and then we have occasionally kind of a younger from 5 to 7 class. And then we've actually had people start taking classes in their 70s, so it's never too late. If anybody wants to sign up, we will be more than happy to help you. So we do have a lot of people coming, that retire and they decide, I want to take a class not because I want to be an actor, but because I just really want to have more self-improvement, social confidence in front of a group. Sometimes people lose their jobs or in transition. They want to be able to interview a little bit better. So there's a lot of different reasons people take our classes. It's not just to, be on television and film and be famous, so to speak. So we have beginners to working professionals, and like I mentioned before, for personal development and to take it as a career. Here are just some pictures of our current location. These are some of our adult actors, some of our teens, and then in the middle we have a mix. They really have a great time. They really enjoy their classes. Here are some of our success stories. Thank you, Monica. We have, for example, 3 out of these here are Los Gatos residents, or were. Kyoko, who's down here, she was a longtime Los Gatos resident and moved to Malibu because her acting started getting, pretty great. And she just booked a recurring role on a Showtime show. And we have Steve Strom, who is a longtime Los Gatos resident, and he does a lot of commercials up here in the Bay Area and industrials for a lot of the tech companies. And Daisy Tuckfield, her mom, wrote in a letter of support, and she started with me at 8, and she's now 12, and she's auditioned for huge Disney shows, and she's done local commercials, and I think 3 or 4 national commercials. So here's just some of our success stories and why we want to, I know we're running out of time, so I don't want to rush, but why we want to move into Los Gatos is we, like Jonathan had said, we're at capacity, which is a good thing. We are residents and our children go to school here, and so many of our students and parents are from Los Gatos. We will keep the same curriculum that we currently have for kids and teens and adults. Our community support, we were we were premier sponsors of Music in the Park this year, and we loved it, and we got to meet a lot of people, and so we plan on doing more things like that, help support our schools and sponsor different programs at the schools. We currently have scholarships for our students who need help, or if their parents lost their job, or if they're going through a transition in their life. So I believe we are going to now watch a short video of some of our students and their parents. Thank you.
I'm Anaya Marwa. I'm currently taking Christy's pro class. I am in the advanced class.
Hi, my name is Meredith Riley, and I've been with the studio for around a year. Okay, I'm Kate Beavis. I've been at Bay Area Studio for 3 years now, and I do the Pro Kids class.
Hi, I'm Jeannie. I'm Lauren, and we're part of the Pro class.
I want to be an actress, and I want to be in theaters, on Disney Channel. I love Disney Channel. I went on an audition for Raven's Home, which is on Disney Channel, starring Raven-Symoné. And I am in love with that show. It's hilarious, and I've always wanted to be on Disney Channel in general. So auditioning for a show like that really made me nervous and just wanting to get it even more. This class has helped me through those nerves. It's okay, just be yourself, follow your dreams, and just do what you came here to do.
I started taking the summer classes here, and I immediately fell in love with the environment and the people and just acting in general. The summer course really helped me understand the basics of being on camera, the basics of the Meisner technique, and just how to be comfortable, I guess, with myself when I'm in front of the camera and working with other people on scripts and scenes. So I'm super lucky that after I took the pro class, Christy helped me learn about all the steps I need to take to start booking jobs. And so I've gotten work and I'm super excited about it, and hopefully this will be the start of something exciting and new so I can, build up my resume and have that toolbox with me of all the things I've learned.
Everyone is just really open and really welcoming, and so it's really fun because no matter what, you're always going to have friends here.
My name is Andrea Peoples Marwa, and our daughter is Anaya Marwa.
My name is Sanjay Marwa, and again, our daughter is Anaya Marwa. In the beginning, we felt nervous because, it's something new, and she was younger, but soon after, we felt very good because Christy and everyone made Anaya feel very comfortable.
The speaker will get an additional 5 minutes following rebuttal from the public, so why don't we use some of that 5 minutes for the rest of the film?
She gained confidence. She felt like this. Was her calling.
So I'm Meredith's mom, and Meredith got interested in acting and started asking about taking classes. And it's a little overwhelming knowing where you can go and who to trust with your children. So I asked around to a friend that I know who's in the industry, and came back with Bay Area Acting Studio as a place I could trust, a reputable place to send Meredith, who had great classes and where Meredith could learn a lot about the whole acting process and the industry.
Fitness has been in the program both on the weekends, and then they have some intensives, which are like in the evening, Friday nights, usually because I have to go after work. Bring her after work, it's like dark and late. And I never have any qualms about having her here at the studio. Everyone's always friendly. The staff are super responsive.
I am more of a comedic person, so doing drama, I need a little bit more work.
Well, thank you, Ms. English. Are there any questions for the speaker? Yes, ma'am.
The only possible issue, which isn't an issue, is because you're limiting the size of the class, is the issue of parking in downtown. And so, as it stands right now, you have to have one parking space for every 3 students, and I see it's been limited to 21 students. My question for you is this, because the use model for group classes is different than, say, retail or a restaurant. So I'm wondering, your clientele, they go up to 70, but are they mostly children and teenagers?
Yeah,
yes.
Okay. So we have our Los Gatos location, hopefully if we get the permit, we really want to focus more on children and teens, also have adult classes. The class size, my other location is approximately 3,000 square feet, so we can handle a bigger class size there. The Los Gatos location, how I'm envisioning it, I don't like to be overcrowded, so I know we technically can have 21. I would like to have it around 16 because I feel like that's a comfortable number for the room there. We might have larger classes. If we had a larger class, we would take it to our other location.
Okay. Well, so my real question was this. In terms of the use model, my son does theater, and I'm used to driving him all over the place because he doesn't have his license yet. And I drop him off and I leave. Mm-hmm. And so unlike if you go for shopping or you go to a restaurant, which you're going to park and stay, could we assume that a good portion of the people, of course, that pick up and drop off at the same, at those times it would be the full capacity, but is that a way to look at the use model, that the parents would be dropping their kids
Absolutely.
off and leaving and then coming back to pick them up when it's
That
over?
happens a lot. And when they reach a certain age and they're driving, we just have the parent sign a waiver, which is very common because they're driving themselves. But we also do want to encourage some of our parents to stay and shop in the stores and go grab a tea if they would like, just to help the community. So I think it would work for whichever the parent wanted to do. We absolutely can help sign them in, and then they can leave. And that happens quite frequently at my current location.
And certainly you have enough parking spaces
Yes.
according to our regulations and everything, but I just was trying to understand how that kind of might work, and since you will be open on weekends and whatnot, but I think it's going to be just fine. Thanks.
Thank you.
Other questions for the speaker? Seeing none, I'm going to thank you and invite any comments from members of the public. Seeing none, the applicant now has 5 minutes to rebut any comments that were provided by the public. Do you wish any more time? All right, Ms. English, beggar that I am even poor in thanks, but I thank you. I close the public portion of the public hearing and ask if the commissioners have questions for staff, wish to comment on the application, or wish to make a motion. Commissioner O'Donnell.
I will make a motion. Based on what we've heard, based on the analysis that we've read and the staff recommendation, I would move to approve the CUP application subject to the recommended conditions of approval, which are set forth in Exhibit 3. And the motion would find that the proposed project is categorically exempt pursuant to Section 15301 of CEQA, the California Environmental Quality Act. That's more particularly set forth on Exhibit 2. We make the findings required by Section 2920-190 of the Town Code for granting the approval of the CUP, which is spelled out in Exhibit 2, and we would approve the application U18011 with the conditions of approval contained in Exhibit 3. So that would be the motion.
Do we have a second? Commissioner Janoff.
I'll second the motion.
Is there discussion on the motion? Commissioner Hanson.
I just wanted to make a comment that that I think that this is a really great use for this location. It's something that we don't have anywhere in Los Gatos, and it's going to bring more kids into using downtown when they sign up for your acting classes. And so I'm really happy to see something like this come to Los Gatos, and it'll add a nice differentiator to our town. Thanks.
Thank you. I will call the motion. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? It passes unanimously, 4-0. I want to add, as everyone knows, that was Hamlet, Scene 2, Act 2. Are there appeal rights, Mr. Paulson?
There are appeal rights. Anyone who's not satisfied with the decision of the Planning Commission can appeal that decision. The appeal must be filed within 10 days. The appeal form is available in the clerk's office, and there is a fee for filing the appeal.
We move then to other business. Commission matters. Are there any matters that any commissioner wishes to bring forth? Seeing none, I turn to the Director of Community Development for his report.
Thank you. Last night, the Town Council met, and they appointed, there was 3 applications for the General Plan Advisory Committee, which will be the additional members that will join the General Plan Committee as we go through our General Plan update. The 3 applicants were appointed. Then they continued to hear the Affordable Housing Overlay Zone ordinance modifications that the Planning Commission recommended approval of and introduced that ordinance. They also discussed the North 40 and ultimately continued that until next Wednesday, August 15th, where they will potentially continue to consider potential amendments as well as consider whether or not they want to extend or let the moratorium lapse. And so that discussion will be taking place next Wednesday. People are free to submit written comments to myself and or attend the meeting and provide verbal communications at that meeting. And lastly, we'll send out an email, but originally we had continued the Rotten Robbie's application to the next meeting. That's the only item on the meeting. They are not going to be ready to go on that meeting, so we're going to cancel that meeting and we'll renotice the item for a future hearing when they're ready to come back. And that concludes my report.
Thank you. Regarding your discussion on the North 40, meeting next Wednesday, that's the last opportunity for a moratorium. It expires at midnight. Is that correct?
That's correct.
So that's their deadline.
Correct.
All right, thank you. Any other items? Yes, ma'am. Commissioner Hanson.
I just had a question on since I'm on the General Plan Committee, the General Plan Advisory Committee was originally advertised for 5 ad hoc members, and only 3 applied. I watched the meeting last night, but are they going to try and get 2 more, or because I thought that the timeline was to start in September?
We are not going to get advertised for any more. The way the resolution was written was up to 5. So we weren't sure whether or not we'd get that many, so we left that flexibility, but we don't anticipate going back out and re-advertising for the other 2 spots.
And do we have a timeline for when we'll start on the general plan update?
This fall, we will be starting. We'll have kind of internal kickoff meetings at the end of this month to get things rolling, and then we'll probably have an initial kickoff meeting, and the details of that haven't been decided yet, but it could be something where it's a Planning Commission Council joint meeting and just a general kickoff of here's what we're going to do, here's what the council's direction was, and then we'll ship it off to the General Plan Advisory Committee. But a lot of work needs to go into the background report. And so that's a lot of work that's done behind the scenes before that daylights, and the General Plan Advisory Committee really gets into the nitty-gritty of the update itself.
Thank you.
Any other comments? Seeing none, this meeting is adjourned.